Hey loves, welcome to my cheesy channel. For those who are first timers here, my name is Sifikelwe Gyosini and I'm about to do a story time as usual. My story time today is going to be about the journey of my pregnancy. My boyfriend asked me to do this kind of story time, so I just thought, why not? So I'm going to start from where I met my boyfriend. So I met my boyfriend at school. We started talking from then and we clicked. I would go visit him and stuff like that. So yeah, now fast forward to how I ended up, well, how I found out that I got pregnant. Yeah. So my roommate would be like, hey girl, like, why are you getting fat? Like, what's wrong with you? Like, I'm not happy with your tummy. I'm like, what do you mean you're not happy with my tummy? Because like, I go to gym every morning and you should be seeing something nice or something beautiful, like a beautiful change in my tummy. Like, why are you gonna tell me that now it's growing? And then she was like, no, your tummy is growing. And then she would be like, she would tell me that like all the time. I was like, no man, like stop it, like don't even think about it, because like I'm not pregnant. And then she was like, oh okay, cool. So Gogo, I'm alone in the room, okay, like my friend is not around, and I'm like, okay, like what if she's talking the truth? Like I don't know, like I wouldn't say that I haven't seen my period or anything, because like I found out that I was pregnant when I was like 3 weeks pregnant or something like that. So there was no need for me to panic, besides the fact that my tummy was growing instead. Like I don't know how, 3 weeks, I don't know. And I was gaining a little weight. I was like, no, you know what, like I gotta buy myself a pregnancy test, because like everything I eat is not tasty or it's not appetizing or anything like that. So I just thought, no, maybe these are the symptoms, so let me just go buy a pregnancy test and I'll see from then, and just pray that I'm not pregnant, that's all. So I go to this place at my school, like we call it student center. That's where we buy things like small groceries and stuff like this. So there's a section there where you can buy stuff like like cosmetics or anything. So I just bought a pregnancy test there. So I bought it and then I went straight to my room, and then I just thought, you know what, let me just not take this pregnancy test today, because I'm not ready. So I just thought, since I'm not ready, then let me just not force myself, because like I have to be ready for me to do this, because I never know. All right, so I decide that I'm going to take the pregnancy test the following morning, you know. So just to like, I don't know. So I slept before I went to bed. I studied, so because tomorrow I was writing a test, so I just thought I should study before I go to bed and not think about this too much. And yeah, so the following morning I get up like I got up at 5 o'clock or something like that. I got up at 5, like I couldn't sleep. Like again, there was this thought on my mind that, oh my gosh, what if I'm pregnant? Like I don't know. And then my other side is like telling me, like no bitch, chill, you're not pregnant, like don't worry, you're not, babes, like you're not pregnant. I was like, okay. So I went straight to the toilet while my friend was still asleep, because like I didn't want her to know that I'm taking pregnancy test, and what if the test become positive and then she's gonna know, and I have not yet made my decision about me keeping the baby or not. So I just didn't want her to know anything about me taking a pregnancy test during that time. Okay, so I went to the toilet. I pee. Yeah, like I did all the steps of taking a pregnancy test. I pee and I do that. I do everything. So now I see one line, and one line in the pregnancy test means that you're not pregnant. I was like, yay! Now, listen. So I saw one line on my pregnancy test, and I was like, I was taking a breath of relief, okay? And then when I open my eyes and then I look at the pregnancy test, oh my gosh. Where's the ladies? Now line number 2? No. I was like, no ways. No, 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 this can't be it. Like, I was shook and my heart started pounding. Like, I didn't even know what to do. I was like, oh my gosh, is this a real line or is it just my eyes? Like, I couldn't believe it. Like, you guys, hey. Like I didn't know actually. I didn't even know exactly what to do or what. I just sat in the toilet seat and I was like, oh my gosh, this is just the end of me. I can't believe that I am pregnant. Okay. And I was like, I thought of buying another pregnancy test, but then I thought to myself, okay, like the symptoms are showing, because like I'm weak, I don't want to eat, and I'm always tired. Like, you know, those symptoms. I was like, yo, no, this pregnancy test is not lying. I'm pregnant, and wow. So then I went to the room. I packed everything that was in the toilet sink. I go to my room and my friend was dead asleep. Let me just put it that way. She was dead asleep. She didn't even hear me going to the bathroom taking pregnancy tests and stuff like that. She was snoring a corner, guys. Like, she didn't even hear anything. And then I just looked at her. I was like, bitch, I just hope you know what I'm going through right now, because if you did, you'd be awake by now. So I just thought, you know what, let me just not tell her, because whoa, this is a very, very huge thing for me to tell someone, anyone. So I get on my bed, and like my mind is still on the thought of me being pregnant. I'm like, no, I cannot be pregnant. Shit. Like, I have only known this guy for like a month. Yes. A month, yes. Like, strictly a month. A month, guys. Not a month and weeks. A month. I have known this guy for a month. So I just thought, oh my gosh, like, he's not gonna be happy with this. I'm pretty sure that he's gonna tell me a lot of nonsense. This, and that. So do I tell him? Do I not tell him? What do I do? I just thought, you know what? No, I'm not telling him. The only thing that I'm going to do from now on is to think of how I am going to do an abortion. Because, like, I'm not having a baby with that man. Like, no. So, I go on the internet and then I search places where I can have safe abortion, because like I didn't want to go do backstreet abortion or go to public places to do an abortion. Like, seriously, that's so risky. Like, I've heard of people go there and they never made it. So I just thought, you know, I'm going to a safer place. So I just ended up deciding by no, you know what, let me just tell him, because he's also part of this baby's life, you know, so I can't just make such a decision alone. So I text him and then I say, dude, and then I'm sure that he was still asleep, so he didn't respond, and I made a video call with him, and then I'm like, wake up, get on WhatsApp, like, there's something I want to tell you. And then he said, okay. So I show him the picture of the pregnancy test, and then he's like, what's this? I'm like, a pregnancy test? And then he's like, what's going on? I'm like, I'm pregnant. The only thing that guy did was just to send me an emoji of that woman, Etwale Izandla, and I was like, Jesus, is that all that he can say? Like, there's nothing else that he's going to say besides just sending an emoji of a woman ethwele izandla. Like, andiyazi uba kuthini woman othwele izandla, guys. I'm not good with English and ngumXhosa. So I just thought, oh my gosh, okay, now, like, this is the end of me, really. Like, what the fuck? Like, he's not gonna say anything about this at all. I was like, okay, no, you know what? I'm still going with my decision. I'm having this abortion thing and I'm not telling anyone about it. I'm going alone and I'm doing it alone. Okay, so he sends me a text again and then he's like, can you please talk can you please talk later, because I'm writing a test today. So I was like, oh, okay, cool. I'm also writing a test today, so yeah. So I went to write a test and yeah. Like, I was so frustrated, like I couldn't even think right in that test. I didn't have good marks. Like, I got like a 41% on the test, because like my mind was not there, you guys. I was so sad. I was so frustrated. Like, I couldn't even think straight, guys. I hope you understand what I was going through. So then after the test, he calls and then he's like, where are you? I'm like, I'm getting out of the class. I've just finished writing my test. And then he's like, okay, cool, can you please just come to my room? I was like, okay, cool. So I went straight to his room and then yeah, with 2 hugs, and then he was like, what did you tell me over the phone? Like, what's going on? I'm like, it is what it is. And then he's like, what? I'm like, I'm pregnant. And he's like, are you serious? I'm like, yes. And then he looks at my tummy. I'm like, it's not gonna show now, hello. And then he was like, okay, cool. So now what have you decided on? I'm like, I have decided on having an abortion. And he was like, are you sure about that? I was like, yes, I am sure about that. And he was like, okay, cool, so where do you want to do it? I'm like, I don't know, maybe in East London, but I did search for a place that is much safer. So I saw a place that is Murray Strips in East London. Like, yeah, I think it's a hospital or a clinic, I don't know. And then he was like, okay, cool. So he asked me again, are you sure about this? I'm like, yeah, like, come on, why wouldn't I be sure about this? Because like, I'm not ready. And he's like, okay, cool. So he goes home and then he comes back and then I'm like, dude, like, when are we doing this? And then he's like, when do you want it to happen? I'm like, tomorrow. I think it was on a Sunday. So he's like, and then tomorrow is going to be a Monday, obviously. So he's like, tomorrow is like Monday. I'm like, yes. We're talking over the phone. He's home, I'm at school. So he's like, okay, cool. Monday he doesn't come to school. I'm like, why wouldn't you come to school, yet you know that today we were supposed to go to the hospital or clinic, whatever that place is, I don't know. And then he was like, oh, family came through, so I couldn't come. I was like, okay, cool. And he says, we're going there tomorrow, I'll be coming back today. I was like, okay. So he comes back from home and then we talked at night. And then he was like, because I was at his room, like, yeah. And then he's like, well, we talked, like, I wouldn't say everything in detail, but we talked and then we decided on keeping the baby. I was like, oh my gosh, like, shame. I never thought, like, a guy like this man existed in this life. Like, for real. But he was like, no, let's just keep it. I was like, okay, cool. We kept the baby. So, and now, there comes a time when I had to tell my mama that I'm pregnant. Yo, guys, that was a very tough moment, because like I was like scared of telling my mom, because I knew that she was going to be disappointed and stuff like that. Like, Sana, you're 20 years old and pregnant, like, what? You don't have a job, like, what? Instead of me. So I asked my cousin to tell my mom, but hey, this is what happened. So my cousin does tell my mom, and then my mom freaks out at my cousin. But then she didn't freak out at me. Like, I don't know why. Maybe she just took all the frustration on my cousin. But she didn't say anything to me, you know. So I just thought, okay, like, we cool, mama. All right. So fast forward to my first scan. Went to the scan, and then I saw my baby, and then yeah, it was so nice. Like, it was so wonderful. I like, after I saw my first scan, after I went to my first scan, sorry, I just decided by your own, you know what, like, we made a right decision with this man by myself, because like, I was like, oh my gosh, that's my baby. So after he knew that, okay, like, we're having a baby, and and we ended up accepting the fact that we are having a baby now. So we were like, okay, cool, like, we're about to be parents now. And that's when our relationship started to be serious. Like, we started having a connection, we started always wanting to be around each other. Like, I don't know, yeah, like, that's what happened. And it was like a very nice feeling, because like, I wouldn't say why, but it was a very nice feeling. So we went to our second scan. So after I saw that, okay, like, my tummy is growing, we went to my second scan, and we saw her. She was so pretty, you guys. She was like, did I just say pretty? Like, I don't know, maybe I'm saying this because she was my baby and I love her. Like, how can I describe her? But she was like, oh, like, she just made my heart feel like, oh, that's my baby, you know. So yeah, and we went to the second scan. We saw her because we were so excited to see her. We saw her, and she was like, she was asleep actually in the scan, because like, we went to a 3D scan. So in a 3D scan, that's where you can actually see everything. Like, you can actually see the baby. Like, I wouldn't say how, like, it's much more different than a 2D scan. So we saw her, she was like asleep, and we were trying to wake her up just so we can see the gender. But like, she was like, I'm not gonna wake up. You can wake me up all you want, but I know go wake up. Oh yeah. And then the doctor was like, oh, she doesn't want to wake up, you guys. Like, so sorry, you won't be able to see the gender. So we were like, okay, fine. And then we went back to raise. And then yeah, like, guys, like, I didn't have a life of a party or something like that, because like, I was always in my room. Like, I didn't want to be around people, because I just don't know, because I was always annoyed. I don't know by what, but I was just always annoyed, and I didn't want to be around people, and I didn't like much people's gone there. I ended up not liking one of my roommates. Like, I don't know why I didn't tell him, but now I guess. So yeah, and fast forward to um when my baby started moving. So she started moving, well, I think it was like about August. Yeah, August or something like that. So I felt something move in my tummy, and I thought that maybe it's one of those bubbles that you feel before you fart, okay? Because like, I fart, like, I farted a lot, you guys. And when I went to Google, they said it's normal for a pregnant woman to okupa, I guess, all the time. So I actually thought that it was fart, and like, it happened again. I was like, oh my god, like, what? And then like, it happened again and again and again and again, and I was so excited to feel her move. Like, I felt like she was having a connection with me in a way. So yeah, and her dad would feel her move, because like I was always around my boyfriend. Like he would feel her move, and then he would be happy more than I am, like the way I saw it, because yeah. And then he would like sleep, and then his head would be right next to my tummy and pretend to be talking to my daughter. Like he would talk, and like I don't know, guys, it was so cute. He would be like, talk to me, like kick, do anything, and my baby would start kicking and stuff like that. So it was very exciting for her to do that for us, because we felt like she could hear us or anything like that. So yeah. And now fast forward to the day I was giving birth. So it was on a Sunday. So I went to my cousin's room, and we were talking and talking and talking and talking and talking. And then I was like, okay, I need a toilet. And then he was like, you need a toilet? I was like, yeah. And I was like, oh, okay, there's a toilet paper. I was like, okay, cool. I take the toilet paper, I go to the toilet, yay! It felt like my stomach was running, but when I get to the toilet, nothing's coming out. I was like, Chineke, waiting to be this. So now when I get to the toilet, nothing is coming out. I thought I was dying. So I went back to the room, and then I watched a movie, and then I just thought again, okay, like I need to poo. And then I told him like I want to go to the toilet. And he was like, you've been going to the toilet and coming back and going again. I'm like, I don't know, nothing's coming out. And then he was like, you better call an ambulance, because you're scaring me. He's a man, so he was meant to be scared. So he's like, you better call an ambulance, because like you're scaring me. I'm like, okay, cool. I'll call an ambulance, but not now. Let's just wait a little. I tell my mama, I'm like, mommy, I'm having a pain on my tummy, something like that, and I want to go to the toilet, but when I get to the toilet, nothing's coming out. And then she says, oh, that was like it's 7 months. Yeah, it's 7 months. At 8 months, sorry, at 8 months. So I didn't think that maybe it was a time for my baby to come. I actually thought that I was having Braxton Hicks. Braxton Hicks are false labor, is a false. Braxton Hicks are false labor. So I thought that maybe I'm having a forced labor, so there's no need for me to go to the hospital. Maybe it's something that will end soon. So yeah. And then my mom was like, call an ambulance so that you go to the hospital. Like, you never know, you'd rather be safe than sorry. I'm like, no man, like don't panic. And my cousin was like, I think you need an ambulance. I'm like, no guys, like come on. Okay, so then I stand up, I take a toilet paper, and then on my way out, I felt this sharp pain on my tummy, and it was like, and then when I was walking, I stood, and then I was like, oh my gosh, like what the hell is going on? And then I started crying, okay? And then my cousin was like, yo guys, like my cousin has seen the worst. And then he was like, are you okay? Like what's going on? Is the baby coming? I'm like, I don't know. And he was like, okay, let me call an ambulance. We called an ambulance came, and then they took me to a hospital there in Alice. So I got to the hospital, and then yeah, they checked everything. I'm not gonna go into detail, because like I'm sure men are gonna watch this, and it's not going to be comfortable for them to hear such things. So yeah, they check everything, and then he's like, and then the doctor was like, the nurse was like, okay, like it's coming. I was like, okay, cool. So now what do I do? And then he's like, wait for her to be ready for her to come out, because like it's gonna take hours. Oh, I was like, okay, cool, no problem. My boyfriend was there with me, my cousin brother was there with me, and like I didn't feel like I was going through the most actually, because like they were there for me, and that was that made me happy, you know. So, and it made me feel a lot better. So the doctor was like, okay, so I called my mama. I'm like, mom, like this is what's going on. I'm at the hospital now, and they're saying that the baby is coming, like not coming, but like it should come any time from now. And then she was like, okay, like you need to be transferred to a private hospital. Okay, I wait for an ambulance. It came through, and I went to the hospital with my boyfriend in East London. So yeah, and then I stayed at the hospital Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So on a Wednesday, like I'm feeling dizzy and stuff like that, and then I told the nurse, I'm like, oh guys, I was in the hospital, like all these days I was in the hospital. And then I felt dizzy, and I rang a buzz, and I called the nurse, and then she came through, and then she was like, what's going on? And I was like, I'm feeling dizzy, I don't know why, I can't even sit up. So she was like, okay, cool. She checks the baby's lifeline, and she saw that my baby's lifeline was not functioning very well, like it was not very well. So she calls another nurse, and then the other nurse was like, what's going on, babes? I was like, I'm feeling dizzy, I don't know why, only to find out my baby's heartbeat is not beating the way it was supposed to. So they're like, we're about to call the doctor. The doctor is not here in East London, he's in King Williamstown, so he's there. So we're gonna call him to come through, but first we're gonna take a picture of your baby's lifeline, and he'll see what he can do. I was like, okay, cool, but please make sure that you're doing the right thing. And they're like, okay, right. Okay, so after that, I think like an hour later, around 10 o'clock, the nurse came, and then she was like, babes, you better get ready, you're about to give birth now. I was like, what? And then she was like, yeah, you're about to give birth now, because your baby's lifeline is not the way it's supposed to work. Like, there's ribbons out in, but lifeline is. So yeah, and then I was like, okay, cool, like I'm ready. If I'm doing what's best for my baby, then I'm ready. And they were like, okay. So the doctor came, and then he was like, let's go to the theater. We went there. Okay, fine, everything was successful. I gave birth like around 11 with by C-section, sorry. So yeah, and after that my boyfriend was there. Like I told him, bah, don't panic, I'm about to give birth now, so yeah, if you want to come, you can pull through, because he was writing an exam on that day. An exam? No, he was writing a test on that day. So I'm like, after writing a test, you can come, because like I'm about to give birth. And then he was like, okay, I'm coming now. Yeah, he came like a few hours later after I gave birth. Yeah, my mom came, my aunt came, my boyfriend's mom came, my boyfriend's aunt came. So it was like that, and they came to see the baby, but unfortunately my baby was not okay, because she was a premature, and she was in an ICU in a glass, so she wasn't breathing very well, you know, those complications of premature babies. Went to a photo shoot, no baby, and it was very nice. We took very beautiful pictures, and yeah, like that's all I can say. I'm gonna show you the photo shoot, but I'm not gonna show you his face because I didn't have banga. And this was my baby shower in East London. So I ended up giving birth to a baby girl. Her name is Enzukuhle, and she is 7 months now. She's very beautiful, very precious. She's so amazing. I love her so much because of many reasons. Firstly, because she's my daughter. Secondly, she makes me laugh even though she doesn't realize it. Thirdly, she's like, she's here. So yeah, like I'm so glad that my boyfriend and I ended up changing our decision of keeping the baby. Okay, so we ended up keeping the baby, of course. So we are now happy. We're still together. He's the love of my life. I love him so much, and I'm no longer mad at him for giving me a baby after knowing him for like a month. Okay guys, now that was it. Thank you so much for listening to me. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe to my channel, and see you guys.